Hello everyone, this is John with CAD-Ray, and I am super excited to introduce the production version of the Clinux database crown. So I'm going to do this demonstration from a Medit link case on crown number 20, but do know that you can take a scan from any scanner and import it manually into Clinux, which I'll make another video for. So here's a crown that we prepped for number 20. Here's the maxillary arch. Here's the scan that we took in Medit link, and you can see the whole scan here. We took the upper, the lower, we took both side bites. And this case is now ready to be brought into our Clinux design software for fabrication of the crown. We have the Clinux app installed inside of Medit link, so for auto launch, if you want to load that, just go to your app box in Medit link. And in your app box, you can find all the different available applications, and you can install the Clinux CAD integration by CAD-Ray. So let's go back to the case box, and let's open up that case. And we have the case here. Let's go ahead and click the integration button, and it will automatically export this case, and it will automatically bring the case into Clinux. Case imported successfully, and now we'll just follow the CAD assistant on the right side. Import has been complete. Let's do step number 2, which is the prep margin. You can do the margin in Medit link, or you can do the margin in Clinux. To get started drawing the margin, give it a double click. Give single clicks along the margin to tack the margin into place. And we'll kind of just do a rough go of it the first time around, and then we'll go and make the edits to finish. When you get back to where you started, give it a double click at the starting point, and then you can go back by double clicking, just like CEREC, and make changes to your margin line to put the margin wherever it belongs. A lot of the times I like to do the margin in Medit link, and if you do that, the margin line will transfer right over into Clinux, and you can actually avoid this step. So let's get our margin exactly where we want it. Spend a couple of seconds on that. And once everything looks good and is smooth and is the way you'd like it to be, margin looks good, we can go ahead and click the next button. And we'll define the insertion axis, and you can see Clinux wants us to have the mesial to the right. It'll even give us that warning there, and then it'll propose the crown. The first thing that will happen is it will ask us which 2 options for the crown database we'd like to use, option number 1 or option number 2. And you can choose that based on the anatomy of the crown that you like. And in this case, I'll choose option number 1. And the first thing we'll do is our manual placement. We'll choose the move tool, and we'll move the crown into its proper position by moving it left and bringing it down. Moving a little to the right here, getting it centered, and then we can look at how it lies with the adjacent teeth, and if we need to bring the crown up to have the marginal ridges match, for example, and line up the cusp tips. And that's pretty good gross positioning of the crown. Overall, we're pretty happy with that. Let's click the next button, and it will calculate the final proposal for us, and then we can go ahead and adjust the contacts and the occlusion as needed. And so you can see at first it's going to show us the interproximal contacts, and I can use my add or remove or smooth tool, or take my circular shape tool, and I can move it in and out, and I can move the contacts in away from the other teeth, and I can move this contact in different areas a bit out, and I can see where it's coming into contact with the adjacent teeth, and then I can click my smooth tool, for example, and I can make it even larger by using the mouse wheel and smooth out the areas and smooth out the areas, and show exactly where I want that contact to take place. So if I want to add a little bit more contact, for example, in this area, make it a bit broader and wider, that's pretty good. We can click the next button. Contacts look good. We can look at the occlusal contacts. That light blue that you're seeing coming through is the minimal thickness, which we have set at 1 millimeter thick. So I can take my circular shape tool, and I can take the whole wall of the crown, and I can thicken that up a little bit to make sure I have enough thickness. Same with the occlusion. We can just bring that up a little bit and make sure we have plenty of thickness. So for those of you that are familiar with CEREC, you can go ahead and just make your adjustments there to the crown. Everything's looking pretty good. I did by accident open up that contact, so let's go ahead and close that back out. And of course we can turn off the preparation and go back to my smooth tool. Get everything looking really good there. We can turn the preparation back on. We can turn the antagonist on, the opposing arch, and we can take a look at the crown with the opposing on there. We can even make the opposing transparent, and we can see what everything looks like. I'm just going to thicken up this area a little bit by clicking my add button, so I'm not violating the minimal thickness of the crown there. And you can see I have two options at the top. I can use either print mode for 3D printing or mill mode for milling. And once we're done designing the case and we're happy with the way the crown looks, you can go ahead and click the export button. I can bring this just to the case folder, and I can export it for any milling machine. We have integration with Hyperdent, with Millbox, with a bunch of others. I actually have INLAB by Dentsply Sirona for milling on my CEREC machine available, so I'll go ahead and click export. And it will auto-launch my INLAB now, which is pretty neat. So now INLAB has been launched, and we do have to define a new job in INLAB. And I can click New Job, and I'm connected to my MCXL milling machine, and I can click OK. And I can go ahead and add that new item. You'll always find that item, by the way, in Clinux case folder. Find your most recent case. It's here for crown. Choose the ExoCAD. It's just a dental project file, and you'll find it right there. So although this is not ExoCAD, we use that same type of construction info. And you can say yes. You can choose your selected material. For example, I might want to do Ivoclar, and I might want to do Emacs CAD. Go ahead and click Next. And now this crown is ready for Emacs CAD. Go ahead and select the blank. And I already have an Emacs block already selected here. Click Next. And you can see now we have this crown from Clinux that's ready to go. So once you get familiar with the user interface, you can design a database crown for really any tooth in the mouth in about 3 to 4 minutes and have it go directly to your CEREC machine or any other milling machine. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll do some more tutorials on manual import as well.